क्लाइमेट चेंज से हो रहे बदलाव लोग अपने आसपास महसूस करने लगे। हमारे ग्लेशियर्स पिघल रहे हैं, समुद्रों का जलस्तर बढ़ रहा है, हमारी नदियां सूख रही हैं, मौसम अनिश्चित हो रहे हैं। लोग खुद महसूस करने लगे हैं, उन्हें इस प्लेनेट के लिए कुछ न कुछ जिम्मेवारी उठानी चाहिए। इन सारे सवालों का जवाब मिशन लाइफ में है।
Namaskar. Hello and welcome to this edition on Sansad TV. I am Namrata Singh. Climate change is a pressing global concern that demands a unified, comprehensive and collaborative response. Every action, no matter how small, holds significance in a coordinated worldwide approach. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched Mission LiFE in June 2022, dedicated to promoting eco-friendly living and environmental protection on a global scale. This initiative, rooted in India's sustainable traditions, was introduced internationally at COP26 in Glasgow in 2021. Additionally, during India's G20 presidency, LiFE was elevated to a pivotal global agenda, underscoring the imperative of adopting eco-conscious lifestyles worldwide. Environmental degradation and climate change are global phenomena where actions in one part of the world impact ecosystems and populations across the globe. Estimates suggest that if requisite action is not taken against the changing environment, approximately 3 billion people globally could experience chronic water scarcity. The global economy could lose up to 18% of GDP by 2050. Over the last 2 decades, several macro measures have been implemented globally to address environmental degradation and climate change. Despite their enormous potential, actions required at the level of individuals, communities, and institutions have received limited attention. However, changing individual and community behavior alone can make a significant dent in the environmental and climate crisis. According to the United Nations Environment Programme, if 1 billion people out of the global population of 8 billion adopt environment-friendly behaviors in their daily lives, global carbon emissions could drop by approximately 20%. In this context, the concept of LiFE, Lifestyle for Environment, was first introduced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at COP26 in Glasgow, United Kingdom in 2021.
आज विश्व मान रहा है कि क्लाइमेट चेंज में लाइफस्टाइल की एक बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। मैं आज आपके सामने एक वन वर्ल्ड मूवमेंट का प्रस्ताव रखता हूं। वन वर्ल्ड एक शब्द क्लाइमेट के संदर्भ में वन वर्ल्ड एक विश्व का मूल आधार बन सकता है, अधिष्ठान बन सकता है। ये एक शब्द है लाइफ, LIFE, यानी लाइफस्टाइल फॉर एनवायरमेंट।
India is the first country to include LiFE in its nationally determined contributions. This initiative encourages a lifestyle that focuses on mindful and deliberate utilization of resources and aims to change the present use and dispose of consumption habits. The idea behind is to encourage individuals to adopt simple changes in their daily life that can contribute to climate change. Mission LiFE is an India-led global mass movement to nudge individual and community action to protect and preserve the environment. In 2022, Prime Minister Modi attended a bilateral meeting with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and subsequently launched Mission LiFE at the Statue of Unity, Kevadia in Gujarat. During the launch, the Prime Minister remarked the mantra of Mission Life is lifestyle for environment. The Prime Minister asserted that Mission Life borrows from the past, operates in the present and focuses on the future. The objective of Mission Life are: it seeks to translate the vision of life into measurable impact. Mission Life is designed with the objective to mobilize at least 1 billion Indians and other global citizens to take individual and collective action for protecting and preserving the environment in the period 2022 to 2027. Within India, at least 80% of all villages and urban local bodies are aimed to become environment-friendly by 2028. It aims to nudge individuals and communities to practice a lifestyle that is synchronous with nature and does not harm it. Those who practice such a lifestyle are recognized as pro-planet people. As a global program, Mission Life envisions 3 core shifts in our collective approach towards sustainability. These are: change in demand, nudging individuals across the world to practice simple yet effective environment-friendly actions in their daily lives. Change in supply. Changes in large-scale individual demands are expected to gradually nudge industries and markets to respond and tailor supply and procurement as per the revised demands. Change in policy. By influencing the demand and supply dynamics of India and the world, the long-term vision of Mission Life is to trigger shifts in large-scale industrial and government policies that can support both sustainable consumption and production. Mission Life builds upon India's environment-friendly culture and traditional practices like clayware and biodegradable utensils for cooking, serving and storing food items, hand washing and sun drying of clothes instead of excessive electronic means of washing, traditional rainwater harvesting techniques like underground tanks, check dams, etc. In response to Prime Minister Modi's Lifestyle for Environment campaign, the Environment Ministry introduced several initiatives. One of them was the launch of Prakriti, a mascot aimed at raising awareness about sustainable lifestyle changes and government green projects. The ministry is taking a comprehensive approach, focusing on educating and creating awareness about eco-friendly practices. In a resounding call for sustainable living, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change introduced Prakriti, a mascot heralding the LiFE initiative. Prakriti spreads the vital message that even small changes in our daily life can play a big role in environmental sustainability. Aligned with India's 75th year of independence, the government identified 75 distinctive LiFE acts spanning 7 categories. Under 7 key themes, Mission Life urges us to save energy, conserve water, reject single-use plastics, adopt sustainable lifestyles, manage waste responsibly, prioritize health and reduce electronic waste. During the Parliamentary Forum on LiFE, Lifestyle for the Environment, Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Secretary Leena Nandan made a presentation about the government's initiative on LiFE. She said to generate widespread awareness for LiFE across India, a month-long mass mobilization campaign on Mission Life was launched by the ministry on World Environment Day this year. During this, 2 portals were created: the Mission Life portal for knowledge exchange and the Meri Life portal for capturing initiatives and activities. Mission Life aspires to channel the collective efforts of individuals and communities into a global movement for positive behavioral change. The Meri Life app empowers individuals to embrace sustainable choices in their daily routines. The ministry has spearheaded dynamic campaigns promoting waste reduction, renewable energy adoption, and afforestation initiatives. From wetland cleanups to bicycle rallies, life hackathons to youth conclaves, beach cleanings to garbage collection efforts, numerous events were executed.
This mass mobilization campaign saw tremendous amount of participation from all parts of the country, and indeed from countries abroad where coastal cleaning exercises were also undertaken. 1.6 million events across the country led to 26 million individuals participating in events and 24 million pledges that were taken. This is just an indication of how, once we have a call to action at a mass level in our countries and across the world, there can be significant outcomes by all our collective actions.
She also highlighted the International Energy Agency's report, Life Lessons from India, emphasizing 3 key findings from India's proposed life measures.
The International Energy Agency has done a deep dive and a study about the impacts of these behavioral changes, and they have come out with some extremely important recommendations. If such behaviors and such choices are made by individuals the world over, by 2030, we would have reduced 2 billion tons of GHG emissions. Around 60% of emission saving by LiFE measures could indirectly be actually encouraged by governments. And the reduction of per capita CO2 emissions in advanced economies will be 3 to 4 times greater than developing economies.
Transforming our lifestyle is undoubtedly a challenge. Our habits are deeply entrenched in our daily routines, reinforced by various aspects of our environment. But it's not impossible. By taking one step at a time, one change each day, we can instill long-term eco-friendly habits. Studies show that dedicating 21 days to a new action helps make it a habit. The government under the LiFE mission has initiated a 21-day challenge, offering a roadmap to consciously minimize wasteful resource consumption in our day-to-day activities. Multilateral forums like the G20 play a crucial role in bolstering global collective action against climate change. Parliamentarians from G20 nations and invitees convened to discuss sustainable living and combating climate change at the P20 summit in Delhi. This forum serves as a crucial platform for sharing successful approaches and raising awareness. G20 presiding officers pledged to further this initiative in the respective parliaments through debates and discussions. The Parliamentary Forum on Life, Lifestyle for Environment brought together parliamentarians from G20 nations along with invitee countries and international organizations to deliberate on the lifestyles which need to be adopted for the future of the planet. The forum witnessed lawmakers sharing their perspectives on the shared challenges of humanity and pathways towards addressing them at national and international levels. Addressing the Parliamentary Forum, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla highlighted the LiFE, Lifestyle for Environment mission's role in addressing climate change and promoting sustainable development. Mentioning legislative initiatives taken by the Parliament of India on the topic of lifestyle for environment, Birla said that extensive discussions have been held in the Parliament in this direction and laws have also been made. He urged presiding officers that the topic of Mission Life must be discussed by all parliaments to ensure that the message of this mission is shaped into a people's movement, leading to the building of a better world.
पर्यावरण संरक्षण के विषय पर भारत के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री माननीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने पर्यावरण के लिए लाइफ स्टाइल का विचार विश्व के समक्ष रखा। मिशन लाइफ स्टाइल पर्यावरण संरक्षण का व्यापक दृष्टिकोण है जो प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को अपने जीवन में रिड्यूस, रीयूज और रिसाइकिल व्यवहार अपनाने की प्रेरणा देता है। इसलिए हमें आज एक ऐसी जीवन शैली, एक ऐसा दृष्टिकोण अपनाने की आवश्यकता है जिसमें हमारे पर्यावरण को नुकसान न पहुंचे। ये हम सबका व्यक्तिगत और सामूहिक दायित्व है।
Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh underlined that Mission Life seeks to channel the efforts of individuals and communities into a global mass movement of positive behavioral change.
Collectively and individually, therefore, we need to be mindful of the fact that every small action counts and every individual matters in our fight against the challenges of the climate change. The LiFE initiative is not confined to the boundaries of any one nation. It's a global movement, reminding us that the fate of our planet is inseparably linked to the choices we make every day. Let us be the guardians of our environment and the torchbearers of a sustainable legacy and regenerative future.
Presiding officers of parliaments of participating G20 nations also made interventions during the discussion. Addressing the gathering, IPU President Dwarte Pacheco asserted that climate action must begin at home and everything we do should be in the favor of our planet. He also supported the Modi government's mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas.
Climate action must begin at home. Also inside our parliaments, where we can reduce a lot of costs. For instance, reduce the carbon footprinting institutions, and in a particular point of view, we can also use greener energy inside our homes. We can save by new technologies, try to avoid the waste of paper. So inside our own parliaments, we may lead by example.
Australian Speaker of the House of Representatives, Milton Dick, said that through community-led initiatives, we can make significant achievements and environmental improvements for our future generations.
Community-led initiatives can realise significant achievements and environmental improvements for future generations. In Australia, citizen scientists are supporting a broad range of environmental projects from rivers and oceans to land and urban areas. In my home state of Queensland in Australia, the Blueprint project was developed in response to community concerns about a decline in water quality. The project is increasing community understanding of water quality and reef health in the Whitsundays in tropical Australia.
Addressing the event, Bangladesh's Parliament Speaker Shireen Sharmin Chaudhry maintained that land degradation has reduced the productivity of 23% of the global land surface. She said P20 must focus on tackling these issues. Parliament of Bangladesh was one of the special invitees for the P20 summit.
Distinguished delegates, we have gathered here at a time at the P20 summit in a critical period, post-pandemic period, when our very existence and survival is threatened by climate change. In order to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade, global GHG greenhouse gas emission will have to be reduced by 43% by 2030 and reach net zero by mid-century. Between UNFCCC COP21 2015 and COP26 2021, the world extracted 70% more virgin materials, minerals, oils, fossil fuels and biomass than what Earth can regenerate in the same period. This exploitative resource extraction has caused degradation of terrestrial and marine environment, biodiversity loss and ecosystem pollution, directly harming economic avenues, lives and livelihood. 23% of global land area is no longer productive for agricultural use. Ocean warming, rise of sea level affecting human survival.
Speaker of the House of Representatives Nigeria said, escalating climate crisis underscores the urgency of climate action.
The escalating climate crisis underscores the urgency of action, an imperative that extends not only to the government, but also to businesses, civil societies, and every individual. Right Honorable Speakers, climate change impacts the developing countries in various ways due to their greater vulnerabilities and lesser capacities to adapt. Nigeria, Africa's most populous and diverse nation, faces specific challenges due to climate change.
United Nations Resident Commissioner for India, Shombi Sharp, said only 15% of the Sustainable Development Agenda 2030 are on track.
the world, convened at what is sometimes called a parliament of sorts in New York at the UN General Assembly just a few weeks ago. And the news was distressing that the Global Sustainable Development Goals, our path towards a prosperous world by 2030, are badly off track. Only 15% of global targets reasonably moving forward. Fully 1/3 either stalled or in reverse. But dear colleagues, I would submit that there are reasons to be optimistic. And I would like to focus on three reasons, three streams of optimism, all of which have very much to do with our discussion today. That is this forum, and that is India. First, I would commend the Indian G20 presidency for its leadership and for the partnership of all of the G20 member states and invitees here, which produced a G20 so aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals that I like to call it an SDG 20. We applaud the ambition on the gender equality, on women's economic empowerment, on the role of women in leadership in development.
The Pan-African Parliament also participated in the P20 summit for the first time after the African Union became a member of the G20 at the New Delhi G20 Leaders Summit.
I stand before you not only in my capacity as acting president of the Pan-African Parliament, but I am here on behalf of the united voice of the people of Africa. On behalf of the entire 1.4 billion Africans and my own behalf, let me take this opportunity to thank members of G20 countries for admitting the African Union as member of G20. We are also making history today by being a member of this August Assembly. Thank you for this great honor.
It is true that environmental degradation and climate change are a global phenomenon where action in one part of the world impacts ecosystems and populations across the globe. As such, and most significantly, changing individual and community behavior alone can make a significant dent in an environmental and climate crisis.
Speaker of the National Assembly Mauritius spoke about India's initiative for the environment.
This forum is of crucial importance as it addresses one of the most pressing challenges of our time, the environmental crisis. Project LiFE, short for Lifestyle for Environment, the initiative recognizes communities which practice environmentally conscious lifestyles as pro-planet people, the P3, and seeks to leverage these practices to build a sustainable ecosystem based on the principle of reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Indonesian MP spoke about the efforts taken by his country to promote green economy and accelerate energy transition.
As the largest archipelagic country in the world, Indonesia is proud to have abundance of all natural resources at both our land and sea. Our constitution mandated that all these potentials are meant for improving people's lives and welfare. All efforts must be in line with the commitments to safeguard natural resources, and most importantly, it must be socially inclusive. We also continue to promote a green economy-based development in all national efforts to achieve SDGs.
Lifestyle for environment has been the key priority for India's G20 presidency. Acknowledging the severity of the climate crisis, G20 member nations committed to implement the G20 high-level principles on lifestyles for sustainable development in the Delhi Declaration during the Leaders' Summit held in September. These principles focus on linking development, environment and climate agendas meeting basic needs, promoting eco-friendly behavior, encouraging sustainable production, utilizing technology responsibly, and valuing local communities and traditional knowledge.
The adoption of the high-level principles of LiFE at G20 has ensured that all countries will take this forward. All G20 countries will take the high-level principles forward for implementation. LiFE is now an integral part of the ambitious Green Development Pact that was adopted. A report released this year by International Energy Authority has highlighted that LiFE actions, including behavioral changes and sustainable consumer choices, if adopted worldwide, would reduce global CO2 emissions by more than 2 billion tons in 2030. This is almost 1/5 of the emissions reduction needed by 2030 to put the world on the pathway towards net zero emissions.
Based on these high-level principles, the G20 countries agreed to take strong collective action that will enable the world to embrace sustainable production and maintain lifestyles for sustainable development. That's all I have for you in this edition. Thanks for watching.